Switzerland is completely packed with drinking fountains. There are fountains everywhere in this country. There are thousands, even tens of thousands of fountains throughout the entire country. There's approximately one fountain for every 500 people living in Switzerland, and the majority of these fountains provide a perfectly drinkable water. While roaming the streets, I noticed an astonishing amount of fountains. They are practically everywhere here. There is another one. There are more than 200 drinking fountains in Basel alone, as well as several for bathing and art. And there are even more on private properties. All of them are adding up to millions of liters of water a day. And much of it is wasted. So my question is, why is Switzerland so damn full with drinking fountains? First, let's go back in time and space. To exactly here. On this exact spot, the oldest Basler fountain was discovered. Dug by the Romans in 300, there was a 20-meter deep well with a diameter of 1.8 meters. The walls were lined with bricks and the bottom was even chiseled into the bedrock. This well was nothing more than a hole in the ground to collect the water and provide some access to them. Throughout the centuries, not much is known of the water supply. Until the 13th century, wooden pipes were used to connect monasteries to water springs outside the city. From there, the water supply was expanded through the entire town. In addition, several springs got tapped and piped toward the fountains inside the streets. The widespread water collection resulted in some fountains being close to polluting industries. Liquids from chemical plants and batteries slowly find their way into rivers and groundwaters and finally into the water supply of the city. This led to a stark decrease in water quality. In 1875, the city of Basel bought all water rights and started to build dedicated systems for sewage and drinking water. Today, Switzerland is known for its outstanding quality of drinking water, scoring a perfect 100 on the EPI scale. Water is sourced from 3 different sources. 20% are sourced from surface water, like rivers, lakes and glaciers. 40% are drawn from natural springs, and the remaining 40% are pumped from groundwater. Switzerland is sitting above a gigantic groundwater reservoir. In the depth beneath the Alpine country, around 150 billion cubic meters are stored. This is comparable to all the water stored in Swiss lakes combined, more than 5,000 of them. This is probably enough water to cover the entirety of Switzerland and 4 meters deep of groundwater. To provide the Swiss population with enough fresh water, we roughly need around 1 billion cubic meters. That would cover the entirety of Switzerland in roughly 2.5 centimeters, or the height of this doorstop. That's still 10 times less than a natural replenishing rate. So basically, Switzerland is drowning in water. And a lot of this is flowing down the hills into river and oceans, not fulfilling any use on the way there. So the Swiss started to collect and pipe it towards their drinking fountains. Cities like Zurich and Lucerne have a completely separate network for their drinking fountains. In addition to their normal water supply, the fountain network operates therefore with only gravity alone, and the local water supplier is tasked to maintain both the drinking water one and the fountain network. Both are subject to the same regulatory standards to ensure the highest quality of drinking water possible. This means fountain water is constantly run to mitigate any buildup of pathogens and debris. Periodic testing is used to catch any degradation of water quality, but these tests become really expensive really fast. Some of these tests range up to as much as 300 Swiss francs. This led to many privately owned fountains being untested and slapped with a non-drinkable sign, even if the water would be perfectly drinkable. For utility companies, this is not an option. By Swiss law, suppliers are obligated to maintain a steady flow even in an emergency. For up to 3 days, there has to be enough water for every household, and from there on, a minimum of 4 liters per person per day. They are obligated to take any constructive measure, provide a steady supply, tap enough springs, and construct enough fountains to have drinking water, even in the case of a total blackout. So, there you have it, like bunkers, guns, self-sufficiency or anti-tank measures. Switzerland has a buttload of drinking fountains for one thing. Preparation for the worst case. To keep the water running, to be prepared. To have drinking water even in the case of a total breakdown of the power grid, water supply, or if war comes here. But fountains are more. Having constant access to water elevates the living quality of any given city and puts Swiss cities among the highest in the world. And you feel it if you just being outside a city and refill your bottle or take a sip during a run. The convenience of these fountains is incomparable to have to buy your drinking water all the times. So if you live in a Swiss city or just come by for a visit, a water bottle is a must-have in your backpack.